Yes, I hope everybody brought their pen and papers, make notes. This is a class. And often with these type of classes that explore the expansion of reality, we tend to forget things. So make sure to make little bullet points and notes as you get through the class. Like Ilia said, the first hour is going to be the lecture. We're going to be expanding on this topic, giving some methodology. And the second hour is question and answer. And that will go for as long as there are questions to answer. So make sure to write down your questions so you don't forget them for the second hour. And this topic is one that is very interesting for many reasons. It is a topic that is very popular, and it has been discussed and talked about by different people and teachers throughout the, ages, I suppose, but called very different things. It's named and called different things, and also classified as different things, which is something we're going to go into the class also. So anyways, as we wait for Larry to get back, we're going to begin with the name. The name that we gave the class, the Out of the Body Experiences class, and also it's the very popular syntax, the words that are being used. The words or the name Out of the Body Experience was coined by G.M. Tyrrell in 1943 in his book Apparitions. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I think is one of the reasons why a lot of individuals, an increasing amount of individuals, have not had the ability, one could say, to, or not, everybody has the ability, but they haven't been able to either remember, recall, or carry out these experiences due directly to this name.
Because the out of body name?
Yes. So out of the body is not quite accurate for what we're doing. If we think about, if you feel into yourself and you feel, how big is my body, my physical body, how big is it? I get, well, it's quite compact actually, right? I can feel my physical body is quite compact, quite small. Yeah. The senses of the body are larger. I can see way into the distance, right? And I can hear quite far. I can smell things, so the sensors are larger than my body, the physical senses.
Yeah.
And now, if you think about your soul, right? Your soul, how big is your soul? How big is your soul construct? When I feel into that, it's really hard for me to find a boundary where my soul ends and the universe begins. Test it out. See how big is my soul? And in Western society, often we're taught, or feel that we're taught, I feel that we're taught that our soul is tiny, really small.
Yeah, teensy weensy little spark.
Teensy little spark that's inside our body somewhere, maybe on our head or our body, somewhere in the chest, maybe. Yeah. But when we feel it, like if you close your eyes and you feel, okay, so what can my soul sense right now? And you can perceive then a little bit of how big your soul actually is. And I've mentioned before in other places, in other teachings, classes and articles, that in fact, it's not that the soul is in the body, but that the body is in the soul. Okay? And you can test that out. You can truth it, test it out, see how it fits. And again, these are two very kind of wobbly and very narrow reflections of our true natures, both as physical bodies and souls. They're very kind of narrow to the individual, because we could actually say our bodies are also part of a body collective. Yeah. And then maybe even a physical collective of Gaia. So then it starts expanding a bit more, right? And also our souls are part of soul families. And then it really explodes of how big it can be. So why am I talking about the size of the body and the soul and the actual relationship between? Is because when we say out of the bodies, physical bodies, most physical bodies or a lot of physical bodies would immediately go into fear, because the only time that they exit the body of the soul is when they die, when we die. So the first thing that we need to do is process that fear and maybe change the name of what we're going to do. And each person can do that on their own, right? So extra dimensional travel might be one, you can play around with names and see what fits better so that our bodies don't go into fear, and explain to the body, no. You're not going to exit the soul body. The soul is not going to exit you. We're not going to sever that connection. We're not going to even exit our field, right? Literally, you stay in your body. A soul continues, like turning it around again. Your body stays in the soul, even when you're traveling through different dimensions and constructs of reality. So you're never out, really. Yeah. And so the name, I wanted to talk about it explore it, because the name out of the body experience is actually disempowering, but we use it because it's so well known. Everybody knows what we're talking about.
Right. Everybody since 1940, right?
1943, yes. And other people used it, like Monroe, he used it, and somebody else used it. Many people have used the name that Terrell coined in 1943, because it brought the whole thing out of the woo area and spirituality and shamanism, which for some reason they didn't want to be associated with.
Right. Because you could easily use the word a shamanic journey.
You could
use lots of other descriptive phrases for the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them or another of them, they have meanings, right, that we assign to them.
They do. Yeah. And sometimes they come in with a whole dogma. Yeah. So to get away from that, some major explorers of these worlds used the name, and it became very popular, and we all know what it means. And it's, it's like something that we can change within our own practice, what we call it, so that it makes, when you'll know when you get it right, what the names that you give it, because your physical body's going to feel great, also excited about going exploring with you. And the soul's going to feel great too. There'll be no fear.
Right. Just deconstructing it like this is enough to defuse some of that worry,
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing we wanted to talk about is, what is this out of the body experience about? This exploration of other realms about? And also we wanted to point that it's different to lucid dreaming. A lucid dream is when you're at night having a nice dream and you become aware that you're dreaming. And then you can continue with the dream, fully aware that you're dreaming and enjoying the dream, or you can take hold of it and change it as you please.
Right. You can being in the plot of the dream and aware that you're dreaming is a lucid dream.
Mm-hmm.
Being aware of the plot and then making a new experience, that's more into out of the body.
Right.
When you control the narrative.
Yeah. Once you start controlling the narrative, then it's like a bridging. You can actually bridge into exploration of different realms. It's also different to astral travel. Okay. So astral travel, it's literally a form of this OBE thing. I mean, I feel a bit strange calling it OBA after saying that. It's not a good word to call it, right?
Right. For the
But
sake of
for the
class,
sake of class
title,
and
we'll
understanding,
just call it OBE.
yeah. So it's different because it is an experience of you being an experience in the astral realm or the astral dimension, and that's just one dimension. Just like you have the physical dimension where we are right now, talking, being aware and conscious. There's another one that's slightly more subtle, nearly identical to the physical, called the astral realm. And when you travel there, it's called astral travel. It is an OBE, but it's only in the astral.
Yeah, it's like going for a ride on your bike or going for a ride on a jet plane or going for a ride on a rocket ship.
Yeah, but also in different locations.
Different locations.
Yeah. So let's say you're in France and you say I'm in Australia because you're abroad, right? So you go abroad if you're not in France, right? If you go abroad, if you're not in France and you go to France and you tell everybody I'm in Australia, that would be like saying I'm astral traveling when you're somewhere else in a different realm, not the astral realm.
Right.
I wanted to make that distinction because a lot of people do merge the two and call the same thing like OBE or extra dimensional travel. They call it astral travel when it's only just one realm.
One of our friends calls it hyperspace.
Hyperspace.
Yeah.
Okay, it is also different to NDEs. That's near-death experiences. Now, when a person is having an NDE, they are actually also out of this physical realm and in a different realm. So they are actually out of the body experiencing. But it's only one realm. The in-between place. And there's like individuals who have explored all this at depth. And I have done that exploration many years ago. And what I saw and what I read from other people also was that often when you step out of your awareness field, we're going to talk about the mechanics in a little bit. When you step out of your awareness field of the physical body senses and start using other senses, the first usually step is into the astral realm because it's so close to our physical realm. And then one of the ones after that is the in-between lives realm. And this whole mechanics and constructs around that is huge. So again, the only difference is that it's the NDE is usually dedicated to the experience of the in-between lives and however many realms to go up and down it and sideways and vertically or like at angles of realities and stuff, depending on the person's plan for their in-between lives and dependent on their culture, their belief systems, and what their larger awareness field as soul or over higher self has chosen, expanded awareness has chosen to have as an experience of in-between lives. So other writers and guys have named it in different things, different ways. Some of the ones that we like, Larry and I like, is the guy who calls it the face. And that's Michael Raduga. And I think that one of the reasons why his methodology is so good, so effective, is because he doesn't call it out of the body experience.